Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, wherever you are. It's get the time on, perfect. Thank you for the introduction, and I'll get straight into it. I'm delighted to present this morning for me the first season of geophysical investigations at the intriguing site of the Bath of Cotilia. This is a new research project which is led by St Mary's University and McMaster University, and is conducted in collaboration with the National Italian Archaeological Authority. We're very delighted to receive funding from the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council of Canada. My institute, the British School of Rome, which is a British international research institute based in Rome, has provided the support and archaeological geophysics for this project. The site lies 15 kilometers to the east of Rieti, which is in the central Italian region of Lazio. Marked here, the site is marked here with the red flag. It's about 87 kilometers north of Rome on the Via Salaria, which was a major consular road in the Roman period, and continued to be so onwards as well. The area of the site is characterized by natural sulfurous water springs. These have been known since antiquity for their therapeutic properties and are cited by ancient sources such as Strabo and Pliny the Elder. The importance of these natural springs throughout antiquity, and which are still operative today, is underlined by the inclusion of Aqua Cotilia in the famous Tabula Peutingeriana, a unique parchment scroll drawn by an anonymous geographer from Ravenna who consulted the original version around AD 670. And you can see where I've circled it on this slide here. The site itself is associated with the Emperor Vespasian, who was Emperor of Rome between 69 and 79 AD. He was born in this area of the Sabina and regularly returned in the hot summer months. An imperial villa, identified as belonging to the Flavian dynasty, has been discovered a few kilometers to the northeast of this site, above Lake Paterno. The site itself is developed across 3 terraces. The central one, the first of which is on the second terrace, which is in the photograph in the top left-hand corner, where excavations began in the 1800s. Since then, there's been extensive and irregular excavations that have taken place from the mid-1960s onwards. At the center is a large pool, measuring 60 meters by 24 meters, with a capacity of around 2,600 meters cubed. This is surrounded by structures which scholars identified as a bath complex, which was constructed towards the end of the 2nd century BC. However, the site has also been hypothesized as a federal sanctuary of the Sabines to the local goddess Facuna. Most recently, between 2007 and 2012, excavations have taken place on the lower terrace, which has brought to light a 30-meter section of the ancient Via Salaria, the road which I was describing earlier, which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. The geophysical survey, which we conducted last June, we are very fortunate to be able to continue our geophysical program despite the various problems which are affecting all of us. But the school has been fortunate to be able to continue its research despite these restrictions. The survey covered most of the unexcavated areas around the complex. The main aim for us was to understand the area between the road I was just describing and the area of the baths. So in particular, we're focused on area 1 towards the bottom of your screen. The survey began with a rapid investigation with a fluxogate gradiometer, and then which was conducted across all 3 terraces, and subsequently we then conducted some targeted georadar focused on the lower terrace, the area 1 you saw on the previous slide. The most interesting results were recorded in the lower southern area, with a series of linear negative features being recorded. So hopefully you can see this on the screen. There's a series of, and I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but there's a series of features which we're particularly interested in this lower area here. The middle area immediate to the south of the pool, again, I'm trying to indicate my mouse, again shows
regular... So you feel free to use it.
Excellent. I'm not quite sure if there's a pointer system in this, but great. So you can see where I'm indicating with the mouse some of these negative features in here. Unfortunately, this area is a little bit more disturbed due to recent restoration work of the structure around the pool, which you saw in the previous slide. To the north in the upper area, so these are across 3 terraces with a height difference of about 5 meters between each one. So as you're going up the slide, going north, it steps up about 5 meters between each structure. In this upper area, again, this is slightly more affected by more recent agricultural activity, probably to do with the planting of vines and things like that, which unfortunately have probably masked some of the features which were in this area. However, focusing more on the lower area, this area 1 to the bottom of your screen, our attention was drawn in particular to a number of features which cover this area, which is about half a hectare. As you can see, there's a series of straight negative features which vary both in width and in length. To the southwest in this area down here, we probably have some indication of the continuation of the Via Salaria road, which I showed you in an earlier slide, which is in this area here. So at the edge of our survey to the east. So this is in this area here was the excavated section. And so the road probably continues through on a moving westerly here, but into this area here. The magnetic survey, so the fluctuated gradiometer showed up these walls as negative features. They were probably built from stone. The excavated section of the road we saw on the edges has blocks of limestone, and then the road surface itself was made of beaten earth and pebbles. Whilst the standing buildings, so the buildings you can see in the plan behind, were built in opera incerta, which using the local limestone. So essentially, we're getting quite a negative feature coming through on the magnetometry. Moving on to the georadar. So we focused on the lower terrace. The grass was much higher on the second terrace, and the top terrace was somewhat uneven. So we collected georadar using the 400 megahertz antenna, and essentially we've got some interesting data at a depth ranging between 0.6 meters to about 1.2 meters below ground level. The most prominent features, which were recorded as the negative anomalies in the magnetic survey, correspond to these high amplitude features in this GPR survey. So this is probably these stone walls which we saw in the slide before. Of particular interest in the eastern area, you can see coming through in this area here of the georadar data, we have a block of low amplitude reflectors that divide the area into regularly divided spaces, measured about 5.5 meters by 7.5 meters in here, which was unclear on not really shown on the magnetometry. So an interesting area of features in this area here. Moving to a slightly greater depth of a slice between around 98 centimeters and 111 centimeters below ground level, we can see a range of features which are showing up here, extremely interesting. To the southwest, we have clearly shown up here in the high amplitude, which we believe is the continuation of the Consular Road, which is coming through here. Unfortunately, there was a depression tree within this area. We can see no data just where my mouse is, but the actual road is still continuing on a westerly trajectory. Around this, we see a nice selection of high amplitude features, a very wide feature running east-west. Again, nothing visible on the ground surface, and there's probably a much wider wall, again, similar to the terracing walls you can see on the archaeological plan above. Of great interest to us are the series of features, these buildings which are showing up immediately behind this east-west anomaly. And again, we can see some continuation, some divisions within this area as well, some stronger features. And again, this interesting area we're recording low amplitude features against a kind of a higher risk, higher amplitude areas on the eastern part of the survey. Finally putting this together on a composite image, we can see that from this, the geophysical survey we've conducted at Terme di Cotilia has provided a range of new evidence, of archaeological evidence to this site. It's now going to be, we hope to continue the survey in 2021, COVID permitting. And again, these will be followed up in the future by the work of the University of St. Mary's and McMaster. Overall, we can see that the use of magnetometry and georadar has allowed the recording the western continuation of this consular road. And all across the survey area, we've seen a whole series of structures which seem to be topographically connected to the road and to the overall complex itself. Furthermore, we've recorded a range of features which are to the south of the pool, again, which weren't apparent prior to our work. Our hypothesis is still, for the site, is still very open. It's not only future excavations we have to say whether this is actually a bath site, perhaps a religious sanctuary, or indeed a road station, whether, say, these features, these structures which we found just to the north of the road, of particular interest to the research team. So I think it's very open what the site is. We look forward to continuing work in there and hope to report back on the future with some more results from this site. So thank you very much. I should stop sharing and hand back to you, Adam.
Great, thank you very much, Stephen. And wherever you are, give him a round of applause, fill your room with the sound of clapping. Could I open the floor to questions, please? Raise your hand if you'd like to put one to Stephen. Yeah, Armin, straight in there, if you could unmute your mic.
Hello, Stephen, hi.
Hi.
Very interesting data. I was wondering whether you had any thought why there is this transition from positive to negative GPR anomalies.
A very good question, Armin. I don't know. Potentially, we could be looking at robbed out walls. I potentially built with another building material. I think that's probably unlikely. But I would say for the moment, from discussions with other colleagues, I think we'd probably say it's associated to the robbing out of the features. But hopefully in the future, we can run a small excavation in that area and get some clarity to the geophysics.
Thank you.